Okay, so I'm gonna be doing a bit of a rant today, and what I'm actually gonna be talking about is a device that I ended up buying off Amazon. It is called a OTT TV box. OTT TV box multimedia gateway internet TV. The model or the name that's on the box itself is not OTT TV box. It is actually called MXQ Pro 4K. It is advertised to run video and play things like Netflix, Hulu, Kodi, etc. at 4K, so you can watch videos and play, even games, mostly mobile games, at 4K resolution. Though I don't know why you want to play mobile games on a 4K TV. You're almost better off just playing them on the, your mobile device, because that's what they're kind of meant for. But there are some AAA games that are on mobile devices like Geometry Wars 3 that actually would probably look good in 4K, so maybe you could. But when I bought this device, I got it home, popped it open. It wasn't a used device. It was shit. It was actually made. I actually bought it off Amazon, and when I went ahead and popped it open, inspected it, made sure that there was nothing wrong. Made sure that it didn't get damaged in shipping. Make sure there's no dents in it. It looked fine. So I popped the thing open, and everything was there. Controller didn't come with batteries. Okay, fine. I can go ahead and buy some batteries for it. That's just a slight, nitpick. I hate it when they don't do that. But, so, I get to setting this thing up, right? I go ahead, I pop it open, I put the power, I put the plug in, I set the power up, get it into the 5-volt connector in the back of the box. I hook up the HDMI cable that came with the box into my TV. I put a mouse in there. The mouse isn't posting. It's not registering. The mouse is not turning on. Okay, maybe it just needs to do an update. Maybe there's a firmware update, and maybe, I've never owned a TV box, so I assume maybe I have to turn something on when I get this thing started. So I switched to the corresponding source that I had the HDMI cable set to, which was HDMI 2. So I switched to HDMI 2 on my TV. Black screen. So I'm thinking, oh well, maybe it's in sleep mode or something. Maybe it's in sleep mode. Okay? Maybe it started up in sleep mode for some weird fucking reason, because I've never owned one of these things. Or maybe the HDMI cable just isn't hooked in right. So I go to the controller, I put batteries in it, I press buttons like a fucking madman. No response. So I'm thinking, it's gotta be the HDMI cable, right? This thing's brand new. There's absolutely no reason why this thing should be busted. So I go ahead, I check the HDMI cables. They're both hooked in properly. Both of them are hooked in properly. Both ends are hooked in properly, okay? There's nothing wrong. I even make sure that there's no loose connections here and there. And they're both hooked in. So both ends are fine. And still, it's not posting on the TV. Mouse is not posting. No response from any part of this thing. Not even the controller is getting a response out of this box. So I'm sitting there thinking, maybe it needs an SD card. Maybe there's some weird fucked up shit where it needs an SD card. Okay, maybe it needs one. Okay, you never know, right? Because I've had plenty of devices in the past that have actually had some minor trouble starting up and running properly because it needed something. Okay, fine. I'll throw an SD card in there. It might work. Still nothing. Still nothing's posting. The box is still unresponsive. The blue light's showing like it's ready to start being used, because I read the instructions, said that as long as the blue light's there, that means it's ready for use. But it was not posting. Nothing was being shown up on the screen. The MXQ Pro logo, which is supposed to show up there according to what I've read, is not showing up. Just a black screen. Absolutely nothing showing up. Just complete and total nothing. Just absolutely nothing. So I'm sitting there thinking, shit, I bought a dud. And I'm thinking like, you know, gotta return it. Gotta call up Amazon. Gotta get this thing returned. Now, it's not the fact that I got it broken. There is a major problem with this particular box. It's always with this particular box. So I look it up online, right? So thinking maybe there's a fix or some shit. Thinking maybe I can find a way to fix this thing, so maybe I can avoid returning it. Because I actually really do want to use it. It's kind of shitty that I gotta do this, but maybe there's some small little, you know, fix. Maybe there's a fix that I can do that won't require me to go, that won't be so invasive, that won't require me to literally download a program on my computer and then fucking install some shit onto the box via some USB cable to get it running again. So I'm thinking I won't need to download a ROM or anything. I won't need to put a new firmware on this thing just because, you know, maybe it's busted. So I read up, there's a reset button in the AV output button. In the AV output, what was it? The AV hole. The AV hole. The connector area. I don't know what the fuck you call it. But there's a button there that you can use to reset it. So I'm thinking, okay, I'll go ahead. I will hit this button, and it'll reset itself. Okay. It'll get it, and when I read, it should give me an option to reboot the system, which should restart and restore the firmware. So I go ahead, I do it. I hit the reset button. In the back, there is absolutely no response from that either. No response from the reset button, no response from the controller, no response from anything I'm doing to this thing, and it is just completely a brick. And apparently, this is a common problem with this MXQ Pro 4K. Apparently, almost all of these things have a high chance of fucking bricking themselves over time. Like, an update could cause it, just simply using it could cause it, anything can cause it, okay? And the few people who are lucky enough to actually use this thing without it bricking, you're fucking lucky as shit. Because I've tried, literally tried for a few days so far, about like 3 or 4 days, I've tried to get this thing up and running. Absolutely no response from this thing whatsoever. It's not displaying on the TV. The mouse is not posting whatsoever. I'm not seeing any response from the mouse when I plug it into one of the USB ports on this damn thing. The controller does not cause anything to happen. Even when I hit the power button, the goddamn device does not turn off. This thing is junk. Do not buy this thing. And when I went back on Amazon to look up this damn thing, the listing was gone. It was removed. Like, and this is not a used device. This was not purchased used. It was brand new. The listing is completely gone off Amazon. These OTT TV boxes are shit. Do not buy them. Okay. Not only do they brick themselves, but also it looks like they're like really shitty clone boxes. At least that's what I think. You know, it does not run well. This thing is unstable. You are guaranteed for it to brick itself after use. Like, if it does not brick itself, if it doesn't brick itself out of the box, it's going to brick itself eventually. It's going to drop dead, and it's going to brick itself, which is shitty. And I spent $50 on this thing. Do not buy the OTT TV Box MXQ Pro 4K. It is shit. Don't touch it. It ain't worth the money. Go for an Apple TV. Go for a Roku. Go for, hell, even an NVIDIA Shield TV or tablet. This thing is junk. Spend the extra money and get something better, because these OTT TV boxes are shit, and apparently all of them have this problem. Don't touch them with a 10-foot pole. Don't. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. See you guys later.